Hey, everybody. Welcome back to
Nash.
Nash and Soot. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's funny because I was going to text you this morning and you text me. It's like we just blew my mind to your mind, and boy, is that scary.
It really is, because I definitely don't want to get in there and mess up your mind, because it's too good. I mean, your brain could come over to mine and really help me, but I definitely don't want to dilute or dilute your brain at all. So yeah,
it gets cluttered sometimes. Okay, what was I going to do? But that's an old person thing. Walking into a room, like, I know I came in here for some reason.
Exactly.
But I waylaid off to the other room to pick up that thing that printed. Now, why was I down the hall to begin with? I don't know.
Or you go to clean your house and it's like you start here and all of a sudden you're cleaning something that you didn't plan to clean because...
Well, I think I'll take care of this cabinet first.
Exactly. Because I need to move this to the cabinet, but to do the cabinet, I got to... Anyway, yes.
See, I get cluttered like that. Projects. I love projects. Well, we better have the projects before the ocean comes up this far, so I gotta get these done.
It could happen.
Yeah.
Well, they're having the alien hearings this week in Washington. And not aliens coming across the border in Mexico. They're actually UFOs. Yes, they're having the UFO. They're having hearings on that. And I'm like, why do you need to have a hearing? I mean, if they're not there to represent themselves, maybe they are. Maybe that's what's running the country.
Oh, is that scary?
I'm like some other people I heard. I believe that if alien life is out there, they're going, oh no, we don't want any part of what you people are doing.
Stuff at all.
Just no, because y'all nuts down there. Y'all are crazy.
Interesting.
It is. So
we're actually spending government money to have UFO hearings.
Yes, and I don't know who they're interviewing, because I don't know who they're interviewing, because if you're
like, okay,
I mean, you can show a picture. I mean, but who you actually gonna interview? Now, if Kirk or Picard were to walk in and go, yes,
I'll listen to you. Yes.
But I mean, really, how will a hearing like this go? I mean, because if you're interviewing the government, which we don't trust anyway, I don't trust them anyway.
You're interviewing yourself.
Yeah.
So, like, do you believe in UFOs? Oh, I've seen a few. Are you sure? What do they look like? Like us? Oh, really?
Well, the man in Las Vegas, he saw it. I mean, and he reported it that it landed in his backyard. I mean, this was like in the last couple of months.
We are not alone. Sometimes I feel like I'm beside myself, but
I mean, I'm not discounting anything, but is it worthy of
no, it's not worthy of a hearing. Just, okay, they're there. We'll just wait for the first contact. Or it's already been made and they're just like, you people are crazy. We're leaving.
And so apparently they're not making themselves known for a reason. It's like, no. You ain't catching me here, because I don't want to become a part of anything.
Right.
But see,
we don't know if it's science has progressed in such great advances. Who are we to say what can actually happen in the future about traveling back and forth in time? Star Trek again. Here we go.
Okay, I'm trying to follow. Okay, let's get this. Okay.
So Star Trek had the little tricorders that went.
Love that.
You know that they now, of course, they use artificial intelligence and robots to do surgeries now. A lot of it. I mean, when I had my hip surgery, they actually clamped a robot, held one side of my hip, so it was stabilized and couldn't move at all. So I have a little incision where they clamped that hip in. It's like, whoa, really? So my husband was reading that they're using artificial intelligence now to help scan your body. So they're doing a scan with artificial intelligence, and they can pinpoint any areas that may be even little tiny amounts of cancer. So just think about that, because they're putting the fact that is a way of doing artificial intelligence, because you're giving that information of what to look for, all that data, and they can just they're just taking facts of what they're seeing.
But artificial intelligence is different than aliens.
Yes, but what? How are we to decide on maybe those aliens really aren't aliens? They're just future us.
But supposedly there's no one can live on some of these other planets. So where are they living?
On Earth in the future. They may be time travelers that we don't even know about.
Well, get me out of this time.
Can we go to a time where people are not quite so greedy?
I mean, my husband always says, he was born in the wrong time. Because he would love to have been born back in the Western days. Where would you like to go? Future or past?
See, the past sort of draws me, but then with illnesses and medicines at the present day, I probably would have died real early. Oh yeah, you have a ruptured appendix. Goodbye, see you in the afterlife. You know what I'm saying? Because the medicine has come a long ways, but it was a simpler type of time. That I think that's what we like about it.
I don't like it because I mean, there's not really.
You're coming to do what?
No, see, I can't think of. I mean, it's neat for me to watch, enjoy looking at it, but I'm thinking, no, God, you put me in the right time for a reason, because no, I mean, when we went to, we visited Fort Macon while we were down at the beach, and one of the things that they were showing us and stuff, I mean, and people didn't survive a lot back then because one, you didn't have, like you said, the medicines.
Exactly.
And and plus, like down there, they said, there was not like any showers and stuff. So the only time they bathed was in the ocean. Well, if it's hot, you can bathe, but if it's freezing weather, you can't. They were wearing wool clothes. So even think about it, you get out of the ocean with the salt on you, and then you have to go put on wool clothes. I mean, and clothes that you probably, because you don't wash wool like you do other things, right?
No, you don't.
You usually, don't you wool usually, like, you take it to the dry cleaner or something?
Yeah, or because it'll shrink.
And so, I mean, it probably was pretty stinky. So then you're putting back dirty clothes on,
sort of
and then the beds that they had, because of the size of the rooms, they were sleeping. No, they were sleeping two people in a bed, and I'm thinking, no, see, it's not for me.
And then the bugs.
And then the bugs
you're gonna have the bugs and everything.
Now, if the mosquito can get through wool, knock itself out. But yeah, you've got all that looking at you. Now, it may seem interesting to other people.
Let's put it this way: it might be a fun place to visit, but I wouldn't want to stay.
Yeah, I would like to pop in like Bewitched.
How about a dude ranch? We want to do a dude ranch and just go visit. And well, I don't know.
That's you.
Where's your bathroom?
See, that's you. See, I would wait in the city for you and my husband and your husband to come back. I'd be like, y'all go ahead. I'll be up here. I'll be next to the pool. But no, see.
Have you ever been camping?
I have been camping, yes.
In a tent, right?
In a tent, but we called it glamping because you should see how, I wish I'd have had pictures from
like our glunting, and you have glamping, yes. Well, we would camp in the Adirondacks, near the foothills of the Adirondacks, and we had a Ford van that we actually redid inside. Had a nice little camper in there, and we were near the not the Sacandaga Reservoir, Saratoga River, one of the little rivers up there that's colder than cold in this fall. I mean, it will be cold. There's no place to shower. And you get up in the morning and you see all these little Kleenexes out through the woods. People must have gotten up in the middle of the night. Bathroom. Of course, after a day, I'm like, I have got to clean up. I can't handle this. So there's the river. Cold. Oh my heavens, it was so cold. But I went in, my swimsuit, and I was like, freezing cold. So no, I don't know. I do have to have my hygiene kept up.
And I think about it, I mean, the toothpaste, the toothbrushes, I mean, we see people on TV and we watch these movies. They're not glamorized. I mean, they're glamorized in these movies and stuff, but life was not like that.
A lot of beans. It's right.
I mean, it's not the way it's not romantic like we pictured in our minds. It was a hard life.
50 years from now, people will look back at us and say, "Ooh, I don't want to be those guys either," because now we,
Well, they definitely don't want to be me. I got no internet, no cell phone. Hooterville.
I can't believe you still don't have that.
But, I just have to keep thinking Elon's going to hear me. I got to sit in a Tesla the other day.
Did you?
This is funny. We've gone from UFO hearings but this is an AI car.
I mean,
it brings us to like an AI car. Yes, a friend of ours, her son, has a Tesla, and they let us sit it.
There is one in Cambridge.
Well, this one they came up to visit, but they let us sit it.
Right down on South Broad.
And it is awesome.
Really?
Oh man, I felt like James T. Kirk and Picard and all that.
Really?
Because, yes, it is. I mean, and only Elon Musk
would do that.
And they made it dance for us. So you can put it to music, and the lights will go to the music, and the mirrors will come in and out, and the windows will roll up. Elon's got a great sense of humor. So Elon, I love you.
Yes, we do.
I think you're wonderful.
So
I think you're
smart, and he probably would you come on our podcast? Wouldn't that be wonderful?
It would be wonderful. I mean, he is amazingly just creative and smart
and fun.
And fun.
He's a fun guy.
And so you can see that.
Sense.
Yes. So there were so many things. And so it was a real privilege to be able to sit in one and stuff. But I was like, this is just to see I hear about all his creativity,
you see his personality,
and I
saw
saw him in this.
That's right.
Would I buy a GMC electric car? No, probably not, or a Ford right now. But Elon,
is that all electric?
Yes.
No gas.
Mm-mm.
So he has to go charge up like in South Hill.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the battery life is like so long, and so far, just from the time that they've had it, a short time, December to now, they've only spent $173 in charging it.
Well, now that's not expensive, really, if the batteries are that good.
And the batteries are like 8 years long, and then you get 300 plus miles on a battery. And anyway, the technology in itself is amazing. But I mean, so that is an AI.
Yes.
But it's not an alien.
Nope.
But I mean, but it's. I just don't know. So, I mean, I don't know what the aliens have to offer us, but if you've got anything that can help run the government any better, I would appreciate it.
And maybe you better go to the hearings.
Yeah, maybe you ought to show up. You can put a mask on or something, I'm sure. I mean, but yeah, I would love to, and there are people that do not believe in UFOs at all, but can you actually say you've seen something in the air? Was it unidentified? Was it flying? And was it an object? Well, yeah. So then you automatically have a UFO. Correct?
I mean, we saw lights that looked stationary, and there were 3 of them, and they just slowly faded away. Like, it didn't go left, didn't go right, just went gone. That was interesting.
It's not a plane if it does that.
It wasn't a plane. They were big lights. They weren't flashing lights. They weren't colored lights. They were white.
I mean, there's been things that I think all of us had seen at one time or another.
Not really, no.
And, it's so, I'm not going to sit here and, I don't know. I'm open, but not to the government sitting up there and go, no.
I had a student one time whose father supposedly was an FBI agent. And when you call him, he would want to tell you about when he was abducted by aliens. I mean, he would go on and on and on. Whatever they did to him, they did it really well because he was very strange.
Well, do you remember Men in Black with Will Smith
sure.
and all? I would love to have that thing.
What was my name again? That was good. No, so you have to be open to believing lots of different
Men in Black made it fun.
They did.
I mean, the first one or two with Tommy Lee Jones. I mean, that
all
made
those
it.
different aliens.
I know.
They were just fun.
I mean, and then they look like people, and then all of a sudden, when you go to talk to them or whatever, then they're a little.
You rip your head off.
And yeah,
hey,
and that's what I'm saying. Are we working with some of these people? I mean, could it be possibly? But
how would we ever? There are some people I think that are out of this world or should be.
Not in a good way, right?
Not in a good way. Well, I like to find those people who dump cats in our neighborhood. I really like to find them. I have one question about the Tesla.
Yes.
What did the outside look like? Was it kind of
this one was
more
like
bland, not so gaudy?
It was just sleek. And like the door handles and everything, you have to push them in before you. I mean, to get the handle and stuff. It's you. I mean, he makes it to where it can't be stolen easily. He's made it to where low maintenance. You've got the trunk room because there's no engine. So it's kind of like a Volkswagen. You lift that up because that was what her daughter-in-law was telling me. She goes, we stopped at one of the local stores and she says, we got ice. And she said, we were putting it in the engine. And I said, well, you used to do a Volkswagen.
That's
remember?
Right. I had a Volkswagen.
Because the little engine in the Volkswagen was in the very back. And so everything was in the
Yes.
But she said, so, but then you have and there's, there's some trunk room. I mean, a little bit and stuff. So they have that. And then they've got, but there's no engine. I mean, it's a battery. It's really, everything. And it's so quiet. She said, and they compared it to, I mean, it is like a golf cart. I mean, that's how you do. But it remembers things. The technology is there. You just got this, all you have is this computer screen. And she said it's really tranquil to drive at night because it's got soothing lights and it's just quiet. And you don't have any of them. It's just
I fall asleep probably. It's like,
but it would be okay.
Autopilot. We need the AI coming in on autopilot.
And see, there are cars that supposedly drive themselves.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't want a car that really drives itself. I mean, they back themselves up and everything and stuff. But I don't know if the car will go to court if something happens. So,
were you the idiot that let it park itself?
I mean, so, if I got out of the car and did it, and I mean, would it still hold the car itself? I don't know. I don't know which one of us would be held liable.
Yeah, right.
But I mean,
officer, I let the car park it. How would they do that?
Do you have a license? Can you show me your license and identification?
Where's the registration? That's interesting.
It is. It's
so you're impressed with the Tesla.
I am impressed with the Tesla. I'm impressed, Elon.
Well, we're impressed with Starlink, so she really needs to.
Now, I'm impressed with Starlink, everything that he does, because I mean, this car and everything too. I mean, it connects to satellites and stuff. So I mean, with all this, and I mean, somebody else had just told me about it the same day that the people came up with it, and they were telling me about how efficient it is and just how wonderful it is. And I was like, what? And so when they came up, and I was like, okay, I've got to see this now because I've been hearing about this, and it's just
So I would like a comparison between the Tesla and something like the Prius or the General Motors or the Ford.
Oh, there's no.
And it doesn't seem like there's any kind
there's of no kind of comparison, I would
because
say.
I know that some people have had the, generic electric cars and the batteries cost more than the car itself. So it's not even worth replacing.
But I mean, if your battery lasts you 8, 10, 12, I mean, some of the ones I'm seeing is that, some of the ones that they were telling me about, the first girl I talked to that day, I mean, she said, like some of the batteries now they're getting to where it's like a 12-year life on it.
Well, that's good.
And so, I mean, if you have to buy a new battery every 12 years, it's one thing.
Right.
And if you're getting, say, 1,000 miles to a charge or something, whatever.
We could spend our whole lifetime in one battery and not go far.
But
we could go on a lot of trips, but you wouldn't have to.
I was laughing though, and I was, Elon, don't hate me. I was laughing and teasing him though, because I told him, I said, if this is on satellite and this electric car, and I said, out where I live, I said, it may not work for me. I said, cause
Starlink.
I don't have,
see, the other thing is, where do you get charged? You got an arrow on your head.
Oh. This is where you get charged.
This is where she gets charged, right there.
See, apparently it doesn't work, right? My battery doesn't.
Well, one woman at church, her daughter just got her a Prius, and it says plug in.
Okay.
So I said to her, "Where do you plug it in?" She goes, "Oh, I have no idea." I'm like,
"What do you mean? Where does she plug it in?"
"Well, there's no stations around here to charge. You have to go."
So she didn't put a plug in at her house?
No.
And see, Nicholas did all this thing so smartly.
You have to put. I mean, you have to have that. So she probably just uses it as a gas engine, because I think it's.
But makes it look like it's a Prius. So I'm driving a Prius
with gasoline. Mm-hmm. So that's interesting. See, there's the difference.
If you research this vehicle, you would be impressed also.
See, I think our son did, because he was all sold on. So he probably did, because he would be on top of
every question I asked them about it, thinking that it was going to
be negative,
or it was going to solidify
what you thought.
They had an answer for it. I mean, they come and work on it at your home and everything. I mean, Nicholas does. I mean, he's just set it up so nicely for people that have it. It's just amazing.
Science. So it sort of brings us right back to aliens. If we've got this man who can make this Tesla, who has done Starlink, which is, and you'll get it. I know our vet out near us has been waiting, and she got the one. They gave her the information, like what best that we can do at the time, and we told her go for it, because that's how we got our foot in the door. You just sign up for it, and then bing, their best is better than anything
That's
else.
what I hear. I mean, I hear everything with his Starlink is just awesome.
And sometimes it's out for 15 minutes because they're upgrading the system.
But it from what I understand, I mean, it moves itself and finds its satellite. It does. You don't have to do anything. You can get it to where it dethaws itself. It's just amazed me about Elon.
Here's a man who, if he has himself into the future, if you've got a person like Elon Musk in the future, you will be doing time travel.
And he may be working on it now. Who knows?
Well, phone. But I mean, that could happen.
And I would trust it with him.
Oh my goodness! If you look at the satellite links for Starlink, it's like the old hairnet. It's a net that's around. And I almost think he's got them almost global now. I know he was moving.
Well, he's Space Force too, from what I understand.
He is, yes. I mean,
he's Space Force, people.
He's like Star Trek coming down to Earth.
He's so personable. I mean, he's got this sense of humor.
That can dance.
I know, it was so
what
cool.
A personality. And you've got the satellites and the netting, but there are moving satellites too that move around that netting. So at all times you have contact with some kind of satellite. Good thing he's a nice person. Because if you've got somebody who is, and he's probably making buckets of money, and that's wonderful. But he's putting it back into all of this technology.
Well, and and I could be wrong on this. My understanding is he will even take suggestions from people. I mean, and apparently he reads them, or somebody gets them to him, or whatever, because somebody had made some kind of comment about that it needed to be there needed to be something for animals in the car. And I think he made some kind of app, or he made it to where sometime and you can put it in doggy mode or something.
Wow.
Well, and so it'll just run slowly, but still nobody can take your car. They can't steal it. But your dog and your animal is safe for a little bit. Well, I mean, it's just
that's a smart thing, because the best ideas come out from everybody else. Because just think of the population. You're arrogant if you think you know everything. But if you can take and bring in stuff from others, people.
And just use your brain to go, okay, I can make this work.
I can make this work. Exactly.
I mean, and like I said, it just was, I love, you could see his personality in it. And that's what I like. I don't think you'll see a personality in a Prius, do you?
No.
I think, in fact, people that own Priuses get made fun of because they're kind of like, they're just kind of like.
Tree huggers?
Well, that
I'm sorry.
Plus
I do love trees.
And plus they're trying to make themselves look like they're really.
Yes, arrogant. I have a gas-driven car. I'm sorry. What can I tell you? I'm old. I'm sure my son will eventually have a battery. I mean, he was just all gaga. But where he is, they have charging stations.
And there's Tesla charging stations at South Hill.
South Hill, that's what I'm saying. You probably have to go to South Hill.
But you could put one in at your house.
It would probably be very simple. It's almost like an outlet that they use for a generator.
Or a dryer.
Yeah, because it's probably that strange three-prong, and it doesn't do much. Yeah, put in a solar panel just to charge your Prius or your Tesla.
I mean, it's just.
I saw somebody driving. It was about 3 or 4 months ago up the road, and it looked like it was an old Subaru. And we're looking at it. It's got stuff on its roof. They got a solar operated, so they probably have batteries in their trunk, and they had these solar panels along the top. Now, there is an idea, because solar panels can be almost pliable. They can make them into roof shingles now. So why couldn't you have the whole roof of your car be solar panels to just help charge your vehicle when you can't get near a station? Should we send that in to Elon?
There you go.
He's probably already working on it, but we could give him the idea.
It's just, I don't put anything past this man. So, I mean, and we'd be willing to time travel, wouldn't we?
Oh, yes.
As long as you don't put me too far back.
We don't want to stay. We just want to visit. A short visit.
There are some places in the Bible times I'd like to go back to and just watch from a distance and see it happening and be there.
That would be kind of cool.
I don't know what I want to go do in the future.
I don't know.
I don't know, because it's scary being in the present. I can't imagine.
Some days it's scary. I mean, I came the back way here today because they're doing construction. And we were parked for about 10, 15 minutes in the little town of Victoria while they put cones down. I'm like, really?
Hooterville. I'm sorry. I laughed and told somebody at church yesterday. I said, I live in Hooterville. I said, but I'm going to Pixley hopefully today. So, all right, guys. Well, I guess that
was kind of fun.
It was. So we went from aliens all the way down to Elon Musk and his wonderful and brilliance and
AIs. Wow.
But it all kind of, who knows? You don't know what the aliens are using either. So
that's true. That's true.
So, all right, guys, we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
Cool.